objection handling. The reason we're focusing on objection handling is because I would say 9 times out of 10, but it's probably a little bit more. People don't just walk in and tell you they want to sign up. You have to make the effort to go out there. And when you try to do it, they might not say yes right away. It's very uncommon that somebody just yeses you, and it's the easiest thing in the world. Once in a blue moon, it does happen, and I love those people forever. But for the most part, you have to work for it. So here we go. You have to know a couple of things: your pricing options, what promos you have going on in your studio, and your studio policies. These three things are instrumental in the success of your sales. If you don't know the options that the members have, how are they going to know if you're not telling them? They most likely haven't been on the website to check out the prices that we have. They might not have seen the promos online, and they definitely don't know about the cancellation policies or suspension policies and all that good stuff. Knowing that within your studio, within your district is super important. Those are your prerequisites. To bring it back, what is a sales objection? It's a roadblock, it's a deflection, it's the I'll consider it when you go to pitch them their membership. It could be so many different things. And unfortunately, it does look different every time. And eventually you see the same patterns, but they're still not going to say what they're thinking the exact same way. So learning how to read people and knowing what they're actually looking for is super important. They could be objecting to a couple of things. It is truly a big ask. If you think about it, we're asking people to pay, for the most part, over $200 a month for our service, our coaching, and our program. People don't want to spend that much money, especially with us who have a lot of options around. Like, I know in the city, we have a ton of studios, but there's also a ton of other studios right next door. So we're asking a lot of people to spend their money and trust us with helping them reach their goals. So what they tell us is really important. There's three main objections that you'll see when it comes to selling in general: that it's too expensive, I don't have enough time to work out, and I need to talk to my partner first. Between these three things, or a combination of these three things, this is what the majority of people are going to be telling you when you go to sell them any membership or promo or sprint or even a t-shirt. There's 1,000 things they could say no to and 1,000 excuses and 1,000 reasons not to sign up. But these are the three that we're going to focus on today. First and foremost, when people tell you that it's an issue of finances, that may just be what they are in their head trained to say when somebody tries to sell them something, and it might not necessarily be the problem. So you might have to dig a little bit deeper. But if it truly is a financial issue with people, we do have a lot of options. So, like we talked about in the beginning, knowing the other options that aren't the unlimited, which is clearly the most expensive, you need to know that you have the twice a week to fall back on. You might have a once a week to fall back on. Are they looking for less commitment instead of a reoccurring weekly charge? So after they tell you that it's a price issue, that's when you start to ask, what is going to make it work for you? What price did you have in mind? So if somebody says, I have this budget, okay, that's great. Thank you so much for telling me that. This is going to be your best option. It's going to be the twice a week. It's going to fit right in what you were looking for. So just because they say it's a price issue to the unlimited, it might not be a price issue if you sell them something after. That's why we start high. So we always start with the unlimited, and then we drop down to the twice a week, once a week, and then class pack after that if they're looking for something not reoccurring. When people say that they don't have time, my favorite question to ask is, what went right today that you were able to make it in? I see this a lot with teachers and nurses, especially. Those are the two main groups. On days off from school, you'll get teachers coming in on a trial. When you have nurses coming off a long shift, they're coming in for a trial. When these people come in, it's good to dig in the beginning and find out what they do so you can partner them up with somebody during class that is of the same profession, because it shows them that you can make it into the studio if you really put in the effort. But back to the original question, what went right today? It helps you get a sense of the schedule that they have. And then we can show them how great our schedule is. And what about the weekends? And then you can show them the different options, because unlimited truly might not work. I've had people come in and say, I have 10 kids and I work 2 jobs and there's no way I can come more than once a week. Okay, that's great. We have a once a week membership. We're perfect. Sometimes it's really that simple. They don't know the options unless you tell them. The good thing to add with that is we do, for the most part, across the board, have a 30-day cancellation policy, which is super low commitment for a gym. I know a lot of gyms have 6-month or 1-year contracts. So a 30-day cancellation is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. And you explaining that goes a long way. When somebody says they have to talk to their partner, absolutely. We never want to just go over anybody's head, especially somebody that we're in a relationship with or somebody that I share money with. So ask them, what time do you think they're going to talk, so you can follow up with them after. It gives you another contact point with them. And if they don't answer at that point, you really did, for the most part, everything you could. But make sure that you ask that. Hey, I need to talk to somebody about it. No problem. What time should I give you a call back? You write it down. It also shows that you're following up and that you care about them. So it's just another way to create that connection and bond with them by showing you care. Overall, objection wise, some people might just not see the value in the program and in what we do. And that's what we're proving with our coaching and with our training. We have phases. It's a 3-month block, and showing that the program works and is worth it, and introducing them to members that have succeeded in the program is really important, because they could value their time, they could value their money, they could value something else, but it's your job when you're selling to figure out what is missing and bridge the gap for them, to try to figure out how can I provide that for you. There are hard no's and there are soft no's, because depending on the tonality that somebody is speaking in, a hard no and a soft no can be the same words but sound extremely different. So if somebody's been blowing you off while you're trying to make the sale, you're not going to win every sale, and that's okay. But knowing when to keep going and when to stop is super important, because we never want to be overbearing and pushy, because that's a turnoff. And it might not be for everybody, unfortunately, even though I think the program really can fit everybody's skill set and goals. But knowing when it's a soft no and when to keep going is probably the most important part in sales. It's not giving up. It's, hey, not right now, versus no, not right now. So getting to understand people and what they say and how they say it is the most important part of sales. There's a 0% chance you're going to close 100% of the sales that come in. I know we try, and that's our job. And I know Liza's looking at me right now because she's so good at closing almost everybody, but even she can't close every single person, because it's not for everybody. And some people, the finances just might not be right, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that they're comfortable with what they're signing up for as well. Your requirements for every sale, every pitch that you're going to be making is validate their needs. I'm going to go a little bit slower on this one because it's really important. What they tell you, you essentially need to repeat back to them and tell them that I totally understand that. I don't want to just spend my money willy nilly either. Here, we're going to come in for another class. You have 2 more days left on your trial. Let's get you booked in for that. I want you to make sure that you're spending your money on something that you know you're going to come to. So validating their needs, it's, hey, I'm super busy too. I know I need my workout. It's making sure that they know that you see them and that you understand what they're going through. And like I mentioned before, introducing them to people right away that are in the same boat as them time wise is really important, because they see that it can work if they make it work. Making connections. The biggest thing that I always say is whoever's coaching the class and whoever coached that member through the entire class should really be the best equipped to make that sale. So you just spent 45 minutes with them or more if they came in early. You gave them their tour. You guided them through class. You corrected their form. You got them station to station. You perfected the Green Star process. You should know more about that person than anybody else in the room. I don't care who did the initial consult with them. Whoever just coached them should know more. It's not 100% of the time, but you should know so much about them that the sale should be easy. You should know exactly what they're going to object to before they even object to it, because they're soft launching their objections during class while you're talking to them. They're, oh, this is so hard. You have to make sure that you tell them that they are doing great. No matter what it is, there's a positive spin to it. And then last but not least, we always need to be professional. We need to make sure we are telling members or potential members all of our policies. We don't want anybody blindsided. We need them to sign paperwork. We need to use appropriate language. Here's what everything is. Let me help you find what works best. They are the most important person that's in front of you. People could ask you questions. It's, hey, I just need 1 minute. Because people will try to distract you while you're making sales. It happens all the time, especially if you don't have an office. I know most of our studios don't. So we're doing it right at the front desk in front of people.
I have one thing I just want to add, if that's okay. You were
Absolutely.
talking about your soft nose and your hard nose. There's also an extended no. And what that means is no today might not be no at your next promotion. It might not be no at our next class pack sale. It might not be no for our next sprint. A hard no today can soften over time. So make sure you keep track of all your no's, because it's still an opportunity to convert them to a yes.
100%. I think the sprint is the perfect example of that. We've had a ton of sprints on Long Island so far, and it's mainly people who've said no in the past. Some people may just be waiting for that promotion to come along. So keeping a list of those people, especially the full-time studio managers and head trainers here, it's really good to keep track of who said no and why. So when you call them back, you know what the objection might be. And it's, hey, it was price. That's so great. We have a 2-week sprint going on right now. Hey, you were looking for less commitment and a little bit of a better deal. We have a class pack sale going on.
We get the husband one a lot in Plainview, a lot. Even the imaginary husband one. There might not even be a husband, and we still get the husband one. And so, one of the greatest things to keep the dialogue going is to say, what do you think are going to be his biggest concerns? And get them talking about what they are up front. So, when you call them back, you can say, how did it go? What did he say when you brought up this? Or what did he say when you brought up that? So it's a great way to manipulate the dialogue and ask and answer before they even have the conversation with their husband. So when you go back in, you're armed. What did Joel say? How did he react to you?
It's also a good way to possibly get more leads in the studio because they might want to see it too. So it's, hey, just sign them up for a trial so they can come see it out as well. One of them has to come first. So just, hey, tag them along, give them a free class if you feel the need. Obviously, we want to try to get them on a trial. But if they need one class to come see what we're doing to approve, it's a great idea to get another lead in the studio. And then that could be another yes later on, even if they're a no.
The spouses can actually be your secret weapon. I've had even invited somebody's spouse to come with them to do the workout. And even if the spouse themselves didn't like it, they saw how much the person, that member, that trialer liked it. And they're like, okay, you like this. This is for you. We can do that if you're really into it.
100%. That's what we're looking for. People want to see their partners and spouses happy. So bringing them into the fold is really important. Great point.
Yeah, I'm thinking about no one in club sports group, but there are even some coaches that don't really understand like how our athletics and phases are rolling out. And so for somebody who maybe doesn't know if the program is for them, really taking the time to dissect that is super important. And obviously, that's something we talk about back at the Green Star protocol. But I just wanted to like bring that up again here. Knowledge is power. And if they know that this is such a meticulously thought out program, then they're more likely to buy into it.
Yeah, it goes back to the professionalism of it, honestly. It's, hey, they're so thought out that it makes sense to sign up because I don't have to do anything. I just have to show up. And the professionals, which is us, the coaches, are so good at what they do that it makes the sale so much easier.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to making that connection is so key. Introducing your trialer, your Green Star into those veteran members, showing them value, showing them the goods, having them do an in-body during their trial, showing them everything, that nutritional guidance, that gets them really to buy in. So when you're making those connections, you're figuring out what their goals are, building strength, losing fat, showing them the schedule, the class times they're looking for. This all just shows them that you're paying attention to them, their needs, their goals, and you're addressing how they're going to get there.
Yeah, it all ties back into that community that you guys have spent so much time building. It's a tool for you guys to make the sale. It's everything you've done makes your next sale in the studio easier. The pictures of your members you have hanging up in the studio, the challenge boards you have hanging up, it's all bringing it together. So when people walk into your studio, they can really see themselves fitting in and signing up. In Plainview, they have that back wall right at Station 1 that has all of their member pictures and their challenge boards because that's where the Green Stars start.
A good thing to remember too is everybody's coming in for a reason. So, you don't want to be salesy, but you can feel if the conversation's heading that way, especially on the 3 for 30. A lot of people want to finish out their 3 classes. So, and the follow-up process, like make sure those automatic messages asking how their first class went goes out. If they're not booked in the next day, have a reminder to reach out to them. Hey, 24 hours later, how are we feeling? How's our legs? How's our arms? I notice with our leads, even though they're not signing day 1, if we stay in communication with them, then they're signing day 2, day 3, because we kept that relationship going every single day in their trial.
Absolutely. And like we said, the connection is everything. So you going the extra mile and reaching out individually shows them that you care and you're interested in what they are feeling and what they are going to do. A bunch of times we've had people not come in for a couple days. It's just the simple reaching out, asking how they are that brings them back in. And if we're not doing that, we've definitely lost a lot of leads due to that. It's a simple text. It's, hi, how you feeling? That easy.